Alright, what's going on, everyone? Johnny Talks Sports here with my Week 6 NFL predictions. Week 5 was kind of a meh week, 9 and 6 overall. But the thing that's getting at me the most is 1 and 3 against the spread. I am much better than that, and I am going to try to strive to be better than that week in and week out. It's just kind of a work in progress right now. It took us quite a bit of time to figure out the college football picks against the spread. But hopefully, well, kind of just a bad week overall last week for football picks. But I'm planning to respond this week just like I usually do. And every single week I have a bad week, I always say that I'll respond. And usually, except for one time ever, I've done so. And this should be no different. So let's get right to these picks. Let's start off with a Thursday night football game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Now, the last 5 times these teams have played, the games have been decided by one possession. So you know it's going to be very close. And, well, it's going to be up in the air from start to finish. And in the end, though, I just think the Giants, I think they're going to be able to pull off an upset. But the Eagles, they seem like an angry team right now. It may be that Super Bowl hangover. It could not. But I think the Eagles will figure it out this week. I think they will get the win over the Giants. I think it will be close, just like any other battle in the last 2 to 3 years has been. I think the Eagles pick up a 2-point victory. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say 26 to 24. I think it'll be that close of a game. Next, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. The Buccaneers coming off a bye week, so they should have plenty of rest. And the Atlanta Falcons, they're coming off an abysmal performance yet again defensively. Well, based off what the score was, just an overall abysmal performance. But they're back home in the Georgia Dome, and they have an arguably easier opponent this week in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Buccaneers coming off a bye week. However, I just feel like with the Falcons being at the Georgia Dome, for some reason they seem to play a little bit better when they're at home when they are on the road. And with that, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons, and I know that this is going to really maybe not go well for me because it seems like almost every time I pick the Falcons, they seem to lose, but when sometimes I pick them to lose, they sometimes win. So I think the Falcons win, but it's going to be a very close game. I don't think they're going to easily get this game. I know this whole defensive thing is like kind of a work in progress right now with all the injuries. But I think the Falcons, I think they're going to grind it out, and I think they're going to get a close victory. I'm going to say 27-24, right in that kind of ballpark. I feel like the defense will show some small improvements from last week, but the improvements won't really look like that effective down the road considering it's just the Buccaneers we're worried about. But still, the Falcons get the win. Next, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns, and the last time that, well, one of the last couple of times these teams met, the Browns had gotten their first win of the season. And before the Jets on Thursday Night Football earlier this season, it was their only win in a while. Well, it was their only win until, you know what I mean. The Browns are coming off a big 12-9 upset victory over the Ravens, one of the best defenses in the NFL. So the Browns are a very underrated team. If you look at all the games the Browns have played this year, they should have been able to win all of the games. If they had special teams, they could have won week 1 and they could have won week 2. So there's 2 more wins right there. And if they would have probably beaten the Raiders if they had maybe 1 less turnover. So it's been turnovers and special teams that have cost the Cleveland Browns a 5-0 record right now. And I think it's time to bring something out. That's right. If the Falcons keep sucking it up, I'm just going to join the Baker bandwagon. I'm just that sold on this Browns team right now. Like I said, their losses have just been close losses. It's not like they're losing 28-0 or 28-7. However, even though I'm on the Browns bandwagon right now, the Baker bandwagon, I don't think they win this week. I just think the Chargers. I just feel like that it's going to be a very close game. Well, all the games we've predicted so far are going to be close games. And I know the majority of NFL games are very close, but this one is probably going to be no different. I think what cost the Browns this week, I think it'll be surprisingly the defense that will cost them this game. I think that the Browns will have a touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter. But Phillip Rivers comes from behind and pulls off the win in the last 2 minutes of the football game. So I feel like the way the Browns lose this week will be the defense. And kind of give you an idea, it could be one of those situations where rookie corner Denzel Ward, where he gets torched for a touchdown. Chargers win, but it won't come easy. Next, we've got the Indianapolis Colts versus the New York Jets. And boy, do the Colts suck even though Andrew Luck is back. And the Jets, they pulled off a miraculous kind of win against the Broncos. Isaiah Crowell had over 200 yards of total offense. Well, I believe to be exact, he had at least, I don't even know, it was about 230 plus yards of total offense. And I think the Jets, they respond to this one. I think they get another win. I think the Jets go 2 in a row. I'm just not sold on that Colts defense still. And that Colts offensive line. How is it going to protect Andrew Luck? Andrew Luck will probably get some solid fantasy points in garbage time. I feel like it gets to that point. I feel like this is the blowout of the week. I think the Jets blow out the Colts and win by at least 17 points. I think that's one of your blowouts of the week. Next, we've got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Oakland Raiders. Both these teams, they have really disappointed so far. Although the Seahawks, they have kind of shown some flashes a bit. Although they've had their struggles, and the Raiders have had their struggles. But the Raiders have just had some more struggles finishing games. And I think this one will be no different. I think this is the type of game where Russell Wilson comes through in the clutch and wins it in the last minute of the football game. Because we know the Raiders' defense, actually, well, Khalil Mack himself is single-handedly better than the Raiders' defense so far this season. And there's a reason why the Raiders have the record that they have. And it's that defense. And I think this is Russell Wilson's day to have a field day on this Raiders defense. Seattle wins. Next, we've got the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins. And I'm going with the Panthers, even though they had to win with a 63-yard field goal last week by Graham Gano. I don't know what to think of these Redskins. One week they just get blown out by the Colts. Then the next week they beat the Green Bay Packers pretty badly. Then a couple weeks later they get blown out by the Saints on Monday Night Football. The Redskins have been a team for a long time that you just don't know what to expect. It's been that way ever since I started the YouTube channel. So, for about the last 4 years, for 4 or 5 years, you just don't know what to expect out of the Redskins. And I'm picking Carolina. I just think Carolina's got an opportunity to at least do well with this NFC South division. They could potentially win it, especially with the Buccaneers usually being at the bottom. The Falcons are sucking it up right now. So it's just a 2-horse race between the Panthers and Saints right now for the NFC South. And I think the Panthers will get a much-needed win here. Kind of take advantage of it a little bit with New Orleans on a bye this week. So I'm going to take the Panthers. Next, we've got the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. And wow, I just don't know who to pick in this game. Both these teams are just so unpredictable as well. The Bills got an unexpected win against the Titans last week, and the Houston Texans have unexpectedly won 2 games in a row. So I flipped a coin for this one, and it landed on picking the Texans. So I'll just pick the Texans just because of, the coin logic and stuff like that. Next, we've got the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. The Cardinals got their first win of the season last week, which now every single team in the NFL has at least one win this season. No 0-16 jokes for people this year. So that is good. No one will go 0-16 this year. And that's wonderful. But Minnesota, coming off a big win against the team that stopped you from hosting the Super Bowl in your own stadium, or playing in it in your own stadium. And I think they pick up from that win, and it will carry into more wins. And I've got the Vikings beating Arizona, especially with Josh Rosen at quarterback, a rookie quarterback. The Vikings defense, I still think it's kind of overrated, but I think they will be able to take advantage of a rookie quarterback. The Vikings defense will get some turnovers. I'm taking the Vikings. Next, we've got the Steelers and the Bengals, and I have got the Steelers. The Steelers are, well, Le'Veon Bell is supposed to come back to the team next week on their bye week. So, right now, the big objective for the Steelers, if you're not going to trade Le'Veon Bell to someone like, let's just say, Philadelphia, because Jay Ajayi is out for the season, the objective here is to win this week, especially against a divisional rival in the Cincinnati Bengals. So you got to kind of get some leeway in the AFC North. You got to kind of get some ground. I think they're going to do that this week. Even though it's a road game, I like the Steelers in this matchup. Although I do think this is going to be close, because these kind of games, they typically get decided in the last second, and I think this will be no different. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will win 31-28. Next, we got the Chicago Bears and the Miami Dolphins. Just like I said, the Miami Dolphins are being pushed back to reality. They're back to earth now after the 3-0 start by having 2 losses in a row. And the Bears, they are coming off a bye week. So there is just absolutely no reason for me to go against the Bears right now, especially with how they've been. Especially, they didn't let that week 1 loss against the Packers get to them. They just responded by winning and winning. So they've responded pretty well to the adversity about blowing the 20-0 lead against the Packers on week 1 Sunday Night Football. The Bears responded well to this adversity, and I think it will continue. I think the Bears get a much-needed win here. Maybe, well, all games are needed, but it's going to be much needed to kind of get the win after a bye week. I think the Bears will get it done. Next, we've got the Los Angeles Rams, the Denver Broncos, and I'm going to hurry it up because we're at about 12 minutes already, and I didn't want to take too long, so I'm just going to breeze right through these. I've got the Rams because the Rams are just on all cylinders right now. No reason to pick against the Rams right now until they start losing. So I like the Rams to stay undefeated. But will I like the other undefeated team in the Kansas City Chiefs go undefeated? Find out in about 30 seconds. The Baltimore Ravens and Tennessee Titans. These are another match of unpredictable teams. 1 week one's good, 1 week they're bad. Kind of the same with the other one. But I'm going to pick the Titans here. I think this might be another grudge match. This might be an awful game again this week, because both these teams got to put up some awful performances last week. This could be like that game of the week where it's the battle of the field goals. We're going to get like a 15-12 final. We're going to get like a 12-9 final, or like maybe a 9-6 final, or maybe a 6-3 final. But either way, I think the Titans get the win, because the Titans, they seem to win games they're not necessarily supposed to, and I don't really know what the line is for this game. If I had to guess, it's probably like a point. But I'll pick the Titans. I like what I've seen of the Titans so far. Even though they lost to the Bills last week, it was only by 1 point. They actually could have gotten the win, but there was a drop touchdown pass in the end zone in the fourth quarter that could have made the difference in that matchup. I think Tennessee responds. Now, hopefully that drop touchdown pass in the end zone is not going to be a season breaker for them. Kind of just like it was for the Jets last year when Austin Seferian-Jenkins had a touchdown get overturned last year, and it was the season breaker for the Jets. Let's hope that is not a season breaker for the Titans. Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Dallas Cowboys. The battle of some overrated teams. Let's go. But I'm going to pick the Cowboys, because simply, at least the Cowboys showed some sort of effort last week on Sunday Night Football. The Jaguars, they just looked extremely flat in Arrowhead Stadium. Although playing the Chiefs in Kansas City will do that to you, I just think the Cowboys will kind of get one of those defensive battle wins. I think the Cowboys' defense do just enough to keep them in the game, And I think the Cowboys will win in overtime. 16-10. I think it'll be that low scoring of a game. I don't see there being a lot of points on the board. I see this being a defensive battle for most of the way through. And in the end, I had the Cowboys to win by 6. In overtime, by the way. I kind of have a crazy history with predicting games going to overtime. Next, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs versus New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football this week. This is arguably your game of the week. The New England Patriots, they seem to be coming back to their, kind of their dominant ways. Kind of like their winning ways. Winning 2 in a row. And the Kansas City Chiefs are 5-0. With Pat Mahomes at quarterback. Pat Mahomes, the gunslinger. Pat Mahomie. Everybody's homie. But I like the New England Patriots to kind of give the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit of a reality check this week. I know we have our frequent viewers that are Chiefs fans, but 5-0 is a great start for the Chiefs. But what typically happens when the Chiefs start about 4-0, 5-0, they tend to lose the next game, or they tend to go flat for the next couple of weeks. And I don't see that being any different. I think the Patriots, they give the Chiefs more than they can handle. I know that this Chiefs defense, the Chiefs defense is kind of overrated. They've kind of given up a lot of points and yards this season. But they seem to really improve this week against the Jaguars. They looked really great last week. And the Patriots, their defense is very inconsistent. Offensive line, inconsistent. But with the Patriots on Sunday Night Football in Gillette Stadium, that's got to translate to a Patriots victory. And I think the Patriots, they bring the Chiefs back to reality. The Patriots win by a ridiculous score of 38-20. I think it'll be that ridiculous of a game. Well, maybe of a score. So the Patriots push the Chiefs back to reality this week. And finally, Sunday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. And boy, do the 49ers look awful without Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is the opportunity. This could be the week that the Packers can get back to firing on all cylinders, because they will eventually. And this could easily be that week. And I like it to happen. I think Green Bay wins in Lambeau. And those are your picks this week for those of you wanting to write stuff down at home or keep track. I've got the Eagles. I've got the Falcons. I've got the Chargers. I've got the Jets. I've got the Seahawks. I've got the Panthers. I've got the Texans. I've got the Vikings. I've got the Steelers. I've got the Bears. Got the Rams. Got the Titans. Got the Cowboys. Got the Patriots and the Packers all winning this week. Be sure to write those down. Hopefully we get better than a 9-6 record this week. That's the goal. Goal each week is to get better each week, so let's see if it can happen. I plan on doing better with picks against the spread. Look for that later this week. I will see you next time. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you in my next couple of videos. Stay tuned. It's going to get good.